Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Welcome to our live streaming of Srimad Bhagavatam. Before starting, we're going to offer obeisance to His Divine Grace Srila Prabhupada, begging his blessings over our speech. So, I beg you, my listeners, to please forgive all my imperfectness of presenting this great literature, and of course, forgive my broken English. So you're going to read from Srimad Bhagavatam, Canto 3, Chapter 2, Text 15. Namo Vishnu Padaya Krishna Prashtaya Bhutale Srimate Bhaktivedanta Swami Chinamine Namaste Sarasvati Devi Gauravani Pracharine Nirvisesa Sunyavadi Pasachade Satarine Jaya Sri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shadvaita Gadadara Shivasari Gaura Bhakta Vrinda Vanchakalpatarubhyasya kripasindubhya eva cha patitanam pavanebhyo vaishnavebhyo namo namaha. He Krishna Karuna Sindhu Dinabandhu Jagapate Gopesha Gopika Kanta Radha Kanta Namastute Tapta Kanchana Gorangira Dev Vrindavaneshwari Vrishavana Suti Devi Pranamami Hari Priye. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya, Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya, Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Reading from Srimad Bhagavatam, Canto 3, Chapter 2, Text 15. Translation and purport by His Divine Grace, A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada. Sva-śānta-rūpeṣu itaraiḥ sva-rūpair abhyardyamāneṣu anukampita-ātmā parāvareśo mahat-aṁśa-yukto jāto bhagavān jātaḥ sva-śānta-rūpeṣu unto the peaceful devotees of the Lord, sva-śānta-rūpeṣu. Itaraiḥ others, non-devotees, sva-rūpair according to their own modes of nature, abhyardyamāneṣu being harassed by, anukampita-ātmā the all-compassionate Lord, para-avara spiritual and material, īśaḥ controller, mahad-aṁśa-yuktaḥ accompanied by the plenary portion of mahat-tattva. He certainly, ajaḥ the unborn, api although jātaḥ is born, bhagavān the personality of Godhead, yathā as if, agniḥ the fire. Excuse me, I have to set up something here in the computer. Sorry for this disturbance here. Again the verse. Abhyardyamāneṣu anukampitātmā parāvareśo mahat-aṁśa-yukto jāto bhagavān jātaḥ sva-śānta-rūpeṣu unto the peaceful devotees of the Lord, itaraiḥ others, non-devotees, sva-rūpair according to their own modes of nature, abhyardyamāneṣu being harassed by, anukampita-ātmā the all-compassionate Lord, para-avara spiritual and material, īśaḥ controller, mahat-aṁśa-yuktaḥ accompanied by the plenary portion of mahat-tattva. He is certainly ajaḥ the unborn, api although jātaḥ is born, bhagavān the personality of Godhead, yathā as if agniḥ the fire. Translation. The personality of Godhead, the all-compassionate controller of both the spiritual and material creations, is unborn. But when there is friction between his peaceful devotees and persons who are in the material modes of nature, he takes birth just like fire, accompanied by the mahat-tattva. So here is Uddhava speaking to Vidura. Vidura wanted to hear from Lord Krishna about Lord Krishna from Uddhava. And Uddhava, in a very pleasing manner, he was remembering the activities of the Lord, remembering the Lord. This chapter is known as Remembrance of Lord Krishna, and the third canto of Srimad Bhagavatam, the status quo. So Uddhava here is speaking to Vidura. Prabhupada explains in his purport, the devotees of the Lord are by nature peaceful because they have no material hankering. Devotees are naturally peaceful. There is a nice verse on Bhagavad Gita, chapter 18, text 54, that says that Brahma Bhuta Prasanachima Nashochachi Nakankshati Sama-savesu Bhuteshu Mad Bhaktin Labate Padam. This verse is very beautiful verse. Brahma Bhuta Prasanatma. Brahma Bhuta is the nature of the Lord. Brahman is a material, spiritual nature. Brahma Bhutam. Brahma Bhuta Prasanatma. Prasanatma means very joyful. Brahma Bhuta Prasanatma Nashochachi Nakankshati. Nashochachi never laments. Nakankshati never desires. Sama-savesu bhutesu mad bhaktin labate padam. That devotee of the Lord, because he is situated in the Brahma Bhuta platform, in the spiritual nature, he never laments, he never desires anything. So this is the nature. Actually, this is the way to practicing devotional service. Mad bhaktin labate padam. One who does not desire anything, one who is completely free from hankering, he attains devotional service. So this is explained in the Bhagavad Gita, 1842. Prabhupada explains, a liberated soul has no hankering, and therefore he has no lamentation. Because when you hanker for something, so you want something, and when you are actually in a very stressful situation, because you want something, sometimes you get and sometimes you don't get. So this hankering, when you get something, so what's the next? When you get something, you are afraid. You are afraid to lose that thing. So when we desire things in this material world, so we have this hankering, then when we possess the things that we want, so we become stressful. Because we want to keep whatever we got. So, and if we lose whatever we got, if we lose that, there is a lamentation, endless lamentation, suffering. So for this reason, a liberated soul has no hankering, and therefore has no lamentation. Even peace, you want so much peace. You want so much peace. But you lose that peace, you start to lament yourself. Prabhupada says, one who wants to possess also laments when he loses his possession. Devotees have no hankering for material possessions and no hankerings for spiritual salvation, even hankering for spiritual salvation. So a devotee of the Lord has no other desire than to serve the Lord. This is his only aspiration, is to serve the Supreme Personality of Godhead. He has no other business. He can be in hell or in heaven, either in hell or heaven. The only desire, the only aspiration for a devotee is to serve the Lord. We see the example in the Christianity, Jesus Christ. Jesus Christ was a pure devotee of the Lord. And although he was in a hellish condition, because people were harassing him, he didn't give up his devotional service to the Lord. He didn't give up to preach the mission of the Lord. But he accepted all obstacles, all difficulties, and he still was serving the Lord. So this is the nature of the devotee. He can be in hell, he can be harassed, he can be in any situation, but he wants to serve the Supreme Personality of Godhead, because he knows that this is his constitutional position, to serve the Lord. Prabhupada says, they are situated in the transcendental loving service of the Lord as a matter of duty, and they do not mind where they are or how they have to act, but they act as a duty, like in the battlefield of Kurukshetra. Arjuna, at the beginning of the battlefield, he didn't want to fight. He didn't want to fight because he was attached to his kingdom, to his lineage, to his parents, to his family. But Krishna wanted that fight. Krishna wanted the fight at Kurukshetra. And then Krishna explains the Bhagavad Gita to Arjuna. And then Arjuna understands that he has to fight in order to obey Krishna's instructions. It was a matter of duty. So he had the duty to serve the Lord, not to serve his mind, his whimsical desires. At the beginning, he wanted to serve his desires, his whimsical desires. He was thinking, I don't want to fight because this and this and this and that. But then he fought because the Lord wanted it, because the Lord told him, give up this lamentation, stand up and fight. So Arjuna, he fought as a matter of duty. So even if you don't want, we have to do as a matter of duty. This is the position. But in reality, a devotee, because he acts as a matter of duty, as any matter, because he's acting for the pleasure of the Lord, he is completely satisfied. Then he attains the pure satisfaction, peace. Prabhupada explains, karmis, jnanis, and yogis all hanker to possess some material or spiritual assets. Karmis, they are after the results of their work. The jnanis, they are in pursuit of knowledge, and the yogis, they are in pursuit of mystic practice, mystic knowledge, mystic magics. Karmis want material possessions, jnanis and yogis want spiritual possessions. But devotees do not want any material or spiritual assets. They want only to serve the Lord anywhere in the material or spiritual worlds that the Lord desires. And the Lord is always specifically compassionate towards such devotees. So, because the devotees, they just want to serve the Lord's desires. The Lord is very compassionate towards them. So, in his Shikshasakam prayers, Lord Sri Krishna Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, he wrote down the Shikshasakam prayers. And there is this beautiful prayer, Nadanana Janana Sundarim Kavitam Vajagajisha Kamaye Mamajamani Jamanishare Bhavata Bhaktira Haitukitoi, which means Nadanam, I don't want any richness, I don't want any possession. Nadanam, Najanam, I don't care about birth in this material world. I don't mind about my position in this material world. Nadanana Janana Sundarim, I don't care for beautiful women. Chaitanya Mahaprabhu was a strict sannyasi. And for sannyasi, thinking of a woman is the destruction of his spiritual life. So he said, Nadanana Sundari, Kavitam, I don't want to be like a poet, a very learned person. Nadanana Janana Sundarim Kavitam Jagadisha Kamaye Mamajamani Jamanishware. All that I want is to serve the Lord, even birth of birth. I don't mind if I have to take birth again in this material world. So Gyanis, they are after salvation. They want to be free. They want moksha, liberation of these material miseries of the material world. This material world we experience constantly miseries at all times. And the Gyanis, they want to get free of the miseries. The miseries of birth, disease, old age, death. They want to get free of that. Moksha, they want to attain liberation. But the devotees of the Lord, as I was saying, they don't care. They can either live in hell or live in heaven. All that they want is to serve the Lord. Jamanishwari, birth after birth. Nadanana Janana Sundarim Kavitam Vajagadisha Kamaye Mamajamani Jamanishwari Bhavata Bhaktira Ahaitukitoi. All that I want, Ahaituki, is devotional service without any motive. As Prabhupada said, as a matter of duty, I want to serve. There is no motive. My only motive is to obey the order of the Supreme Personality of Godhead. Prabhupada says in his purport, the karmis, Gyanis, and yogis have their particular mentalities in the modes of nature. And therefore, they are called itaraiḥ, or non-devotees. These itaraiḥs, including even the yogis, sometimes harass the devotees of the Lord. Durvasa Muni, a great yogi, harassed Maharaja Ambarisha because the latter was a great devotee of the Lord. And the great karmi and Gyani, Hiranyakashipu, even harassed his own Vaishnava son, Prahlada Maharaj. There are many instances of such harassment of the peaceful devotees of the Lord by the itaraiḥs. When such friction takes place, the Lord, out of his great compassion towards his pure devotees, appears in person, accompanied by his plenary portions controlling the mahat-tattva. As it says in the Bhagavad Gita, paritranaya sadhunam vinashaya cha duskritam dharma sanstapanartaya sambhavami yuge yuge. Paritranaya sadhunam, in order to protect, paritranaya, to protect, sadhunam, the sadhus, in order to protect the sadhus, the saints, my devotees, in order to protect my devotees. Paritranaya sadhunam, vinashaya cha duskritam, vinashaya, and to destroy the miscreants, the unfaithful. Paritranaya sadhunam vinashaya cha duskritam. In order to protect my devotees and annihilate the miscreants, I advance yuge yuge, millennium after millennium. Paritranaya sadhunam vinashaya cha duskritam. Abhyardyamāneṣv dharmasya tadatma. Paritranaya sadhunam vinashaya cha duskritam dharma sanstapanartaya, to reestablish the principles of religion. Krishna, God, comes down to reestablish the principles of religion. Paritranaya sadhunam vinashaya cha duskritam dharma sanstapanartaya sambhavami yuge yuge. Sambhavami, I descend myself. Yuge yuge, ever millennium. So when the devotees, they feel themselves harassed, the Lord comes down. It's the other example, it's given when Mother Earth, she was feeling herself harassed by the burden of demonic kings on earth. And then she approached Lord Brahma, who is the secondary creator of this material universe. Lord Brahma creates this material universe. And she approaches Lord Brahma, and she reveals her depression, her anxiety, her suffering due to the harassment of demonic kings. Like today the world is completely harassing Mother Earth. Well, we talked today about climate change. So all this climate change is due to the harassment of Mother Earth. So Mother Earth approached Lord Brahma, and Lord Brahma approached Mahavishnu in order that Mahavishnu would intervene and to protect the planet Earth. And that happened so. So Krishna manifested himself in the heart of Brahmaji, and he sent the order. You and the demigods go to the planet Earth, incognito, and you're going to help me to reestablish Dharma Sanstanapataya, reestablish religion. And then Krishna appeared 5,000 years ago at the request of Bhumi, Mother Earth. So when devotees are harassed, they pray to the Lord, and the Lord appears. Even when a devotee feels himself harassed, he prays to the Lord, and the Lord is in the heart, very kindly gives peace to the devotee. Prabhupada says, the Lord is everywhere, in both the material and the spiritual domains. And he appears for the sake of his devotees when there is friction between his devotee and the non-devotee. As electricity is generated by friction of matter anywhere and everywhere, the Lord, being all-pervading, appears because of the friction of devotees and non-devotees. Whenever there is a friction, Lord Krishna appears. When Lord Krishna appears on a mission, all his plenary portions accompany him. Vasudeva Sankarshana, Aniruddha, and all plenary portions. When he appeared as the son of Vasudeva, there were differences of opinion about his incarnation. Some said, he is the Supreme Personality of Godhead. Some said, he is an incarnation of Narayana. And others said, he is the incarnation of Kshirodokashai Vishnu. But actually, he is the original Supreme Personality of Godhead, Krishna's two bhagavān Swayam. So Krishna, when he descends to this material universe, to this planet Earth, as he appeared 5,000 years ago, it was not his plenary portion. Krishna himself, he came down. He manifested himself. So the Supreme, as it says here, Krishna's two bhagavān Swayam. Indrarivya Lokam, Krishna's two bhagavān Swayam. So Krishna is the Supreme Personality of Godhead and descends in this material world. And Narayana and the Purushas and all other incarnations accompany him to function as different parts of his pastimes. Like, for example, Krishna, it says that he never leaves Goloka Vrindavana. So when he was in Goloka Vrindavana executing his pastimes, his leelas with his unalloyed devotees, the gopis, the gopas, so in Vrindavana, he was there. But when he left Vrindavana, because it says that Krishna never leaves Vrindavana, he always in Vrindavana. But when Krishna leaves Vrindavana, as when Akrura came to bring Krishna and Balarama to Mathura, so Akrura brought Krishna and Balarama to Mathura. So when Krishna was in, Krishna and Balarama was or went to Mathura, that was not Krishna. When they went to Dwarka, was an expansion of Vasudeva, Sankarsana. So even at the battlefield of the Kurukshetra, many times Krishna is speaking some verse. Actually, that's Vasudeva, is not Krishna. So in this way, Krishna in the battlefield of Kurukshetra is Vasudeva. Is not the original personality of Godhead. So, mahad-aṁśa-yuktaḥ, Prabhupada says, indicates that he is accompanied by the Purushas who creates the mahat-tattva. The mahat-tattva is like a cloud in this in the universe that has all the components of the material creation, mahat-tattva. It's like a cloud in the sky. Krishna glances over in mahat-tattva, and then interaction between his glancing over and the touch with the mahat-tattva, everything starts to manifest in the material creation. It is confirmed in the Vedic hymns, Mahantam Vibhum Atmanam. So when Krishna comes, he comes with his own self. As there is a verse in the Bhagavad Gita, Jopi Sanghavyayatma, Bhutanam Ishvaropisam, Praktin Swadhistaya Sambhavami Yuge Yuge. It says that although I am unborn, I never take birth, my body never deteriorates. So I take birth in this world, I appear in every millennium in my original transcendental body. Sambhavami Atma Mayaya. Sambhavami Atma Mayaya, I appear in my own body, in my own transcendental original form. Prabhupada explains in the purport, Lord Krishna appeared just like electricity, when there was friction between Kamsa and Vasudeva and Ugrasena. Vasudeva and Ugrasena were the Lord's devotees, and Kamsa, a representative of the karmis and gyanis, was a non-devotee. Ugrasena was the king of Mathura, and it was related with Kamsa. And Kamsa, when he heard that Krishna would kill him, so he was very much afraid, and he created a great disturbance. And in this disturbance, this friction between Vasudeva and Devaki, Devaki was the sister of Kamsa. So there was so much disturbance in this friction, as Prabhupada explains here. Krishna decided to come to protect Vasudeva and to annihilate Kamsa. Sorry. The first appeared from the ocean of the womb of Devaki, and gradually he first appeared from the ocean of the womb of Devaki. And gradually he satisfied the inhabitants of the place surrounding Mathura, just as the sun enlivens the lotus flower in the morning. After gradually rising to the meridian of Dwarka, the Lord sat like the sun, placing everything in darkness, as described by Uddhava. So in this description by Uddhava to Vidura, he is explaining the annihilation of the Yadu dynasty, the disappearance of Lord Krishna from this mortal world. So this is all remembrance of Uddhava to his good friend Vidura. So here in the Srimad Bhagavatam, we hear different dialogues between great Vaishnavas, great devotees. We hear Shukadeva Goswami speaking with Parikshit Maharaj. We hear Sutta Goswami and the sages of Naimisharanya. We hear Uddhava talking with Vidura. We're going to hear Maitreya giving instructions to Vidura. So all the time we are hearing transcendental knowledge. For this reason, Srimad Bhagavatam is the light of all scriptures. Every day we have to read, contemplate, meditate, follow Srimad Bhagavatam. Because Srimad Bhagavatam is the beacon of this existence. Through Srimad Bhagavatam, we can purify our existence, because Srimad Bhagavatam is full of descriptions of God, descriptions of the Lord. And by hearing the descriptions of the Lord, so we purify ourselves. We are in this material existence contaminated by the modes of material nature, and the only way for us to get purified is by hearing about the Lord. So I thank you so much for listening to this class, and I'm going to read again the verse, and if you have any questions, you just write down in the commentary there, in the comments box, and I will answer to you if I can. So we read from Srimad Bhagavatam, Canto 3, Chapter 2, Text 15. The personality of Godhead, the all-compassionate controller of both the spiritual and material creation, is unborn. But when there is friction between his peaceful devotees and persons who are in the material modes of nature, he takes birth just like fire, accompanied by the mahat-tattva. So again, when there is friction between devotees and non-devotees, the Lord appears. Paritranaya sadhanam vinashaya duskritam, that in order to protect the devotees, paritranaya sadhanam, vinashayata duskritam, to destroy the miscreants. I advent myself, millennium after millennium, yuge yuge. Thank you so much, Hare Krishna. And if you like it, just give a like and share with your friends this transcendental knowledge. Hare Krishna.